Women of Reddit, how do you feel when someone looks at you boobs while in a conversation? I am an ex-hairstylist, and when I would cut men's hair and would be standing in front of them cutting bangs or something of that nature, I could just feel their eyes burning a hole into my chest. I did have one guy tell me straight up on the middle of our conversation, "I'm looking at your cleavage," and he did this weird chuckle. I had no words. He tipped well though. When I was a teenager, I had a favorite hairstylist who would press her boobs against me when she was working on my hair. Against my back, against my shoulders, and sometimes even right up in my face. And my dad wondered why I went to the hair salon instead of the barber shop with him, going so far as to call me gay for wanting to go and hang around with the girls in the beauty shop. He really didn't get me. Apologies to the women of the world when I'm staring into oblivion and your boobs happen to be on my direction. I try not to zone out in public anymore because I had the worst case scenario happen and it will forever keep me up at night cringing. As a teen, I was on my way to a carnival with my dad. We were in a bit of slow traffic and I'm just zoning out looking straight ahead. Keep in mind that I don't have a pleasant look on my face because at the moment I'm deep in thought. Then a woman raises her hand and breaks my trance. She's flipping me off. That's when I notice that she happens to have a severe facial deformity. I felt like shit the rest of the day. I wasn't even looking in her specific direction, but she probably saw my facial expression and assumed it was meant for her. I wanted to apologize, but I doubt she would believe me. I wouldn't have believed me. One time a friend of mine was over for dinner and had recently had a child. I'm the kind of guy who stares into oblivion on a regular basis, only this time oblivion was her boob breastfeeding. I cannot imagine how uncomfortable that would have been for her, but hopefully my oblivion face was obvious. Depends on how they do it. If it's a quick glance, it's fine. That's normal and feels mostly involuntary on behalf of the person looking. I notice, but it doesn't bother me. If they stare at my boobs while other people are talking, or worse, while I'm talking, that makes me uncomfortable. Fortunately, I've experienced glancing a lot more frequently than staring. Reminds me of Mrs. Martin in 4th grade who, in retrospect, was probably in her early 40s. But she always wore button-down blouses that she kept unbuttoned pretty low, and her bra as well as some of its contents were always readily in view. Or maybe we were all just little perverts. But yeah, I remember not being able to not notice every time. She might have just not been aware. If you have breasts on the smaller end, you don't necessarily have overflowing cleavage. It makes it easy to think you're just showing extra collarbone. Think of a shirt like this. Not the most conservative, but certainly nothing risk. Then you start moving around, the shirt shifts, you have to bend over to pick something up, and suddenly everyone can see your bra/boobs with you none the wiser. Also, like this probably just sticks out in OP's mind cause it was so shocking. Like I had a male teacher in 7th grade who would wear polos and I can never forget the time I saw his chest hair peeking out. 12-year-old me was shook. I remember meeting a girl at a party in college who had some of the largest tattoos I had seen, and she was rather exposed with her clothing choices. The moment I saw her I thought, I bet I can have a conversation with her without looking down. She and I talked for a good 15 minutes and it was insanely exhausting. I could feel Mother Earth's gravity pulling my head and eyes down constantly. The longer I went without looking, the more effort it took not to look. Did I win my dumb challenge? I honestly have no idea. I don't remember ever looking down, but I think it may have been exactly like Charlie Day trying to break the world record for holding his breath. 2 weeks ago, I met up with a close friend and his wife, haven't seen in person for about a decade but text to stay connect. We went through a lot of things together and he means a lot to me, practically like my brother. His wife just had a child and her anatomy changed drastically. I spent 2 hours with them without staring at her body at all. It was exhausting. When women wear graphic t-shirts with writing on their chest, I'm always hesitant to read it because I don't want to look like a jackass. I can tell when someone is reading my shirt versus just staring at my boobs. I don't mind people stopping and taking a good look at the text. I know it's hard to read. I'll even turn and fully face them so they can read it properly. I don't mind this at all. If I'm going to slap a message on my tits, I'm doing it because I want people to read the message. No biggie. In fact, asking a woman "what does your shirt say" is a really good way to break the ice. Edit. I've seen multiple people mention feeling uncomfortable reading name tags. It's always okay to read name tags. They're literally there to be read. I've seen some women put their name tags on their upper sleeve if they felt uncomfortable with drawing attention to their left tit, so in that instance you'll know a woman doesn't want you staring at her chest. If you're really uncomfortable with reading a name tag, that's okay. Just introduce yourself and then ask their name. I usually start reading it, then wonder if the girl thinks I'm staring at her chest, and then mumble something incoherent like just trying to read your shirt, and then make a shitty act of squinting really hard and cocking my head to try to read it, the whole while screaming internally no, not like this, not like this. Need to work a little harder on not giving a fuck. It depends. If I feel like it's taking away from someone's engagement in a conversation with me, it'll bug me, particularly if I think what I'm talking about is interesting or thought it would interest them in particular. If they're still just as or hopefully more focused on the content of the conversation, I don't care or mind. Basically, if it seems like the value of my attractiveness is superseding the value of my intellect or personality in the other's perception, that's annoying and I will probably judge that person. Perhaps unless I'm talking about like some truly heinously boring shit. If that's all they're focused on, then it's a problem, like my eyes are up here and we're talking. Come on. WTF is wrong with you? But sneaking glances or whatever doesn't bug me. I fully admit I've done it when talking to girls, will just flick my eyes down for a second and get a glance. But don't stare. Never stare. That's one of the more uncomfortable things anybody can do, emo. Same with looking at a butt. Get a glance, don't stare. We're all human and size one another up. It's just the way we're wired. I understand they are attractive to guys, especially at a teen age. And I catch a lot of people getting a glimpse, but I don't mind. Anyways, there was this one guy staring off into space at them. That's when I asked to be excused for a bit. Thanks for watching. If you're eager to hear more wild stories, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to leave us a like. Also, let us know a crazy story from yourself in the comments section below. Also, feel free to check out other fun videos in our channel. See you soon.